Welcome back everyone to my YouTube channel. It's Mary and we're moving into card number 2 for the Simon Says Stamp June card kit. This one was a lot of fun to make and I'm trying to pull out just one of the elements from the card, from the stamp set, and make it a focal point here for this card. So the first thing I'm doing is grabbing up those singular flowers in the stamp set. They look like carnations, they could be someone else said peonies, potentially, but they're pretty little flowers, so that's what we're going to call them, pretty little flowers. And I'm making my own little pattern paper here. So it's really hard to see those flowers as I stamp them out, so I'm going to put the white embossing powder over them as we go, and then I'm going to fill in the empty spaces with the smaller one, and that will give us a really fun asymmetric pattern paper. So I'm going to heat set that off camera, and then the next thing I'm going to do is take the worn lipstick, Distress Oxide ink that came with the kit, and I'm just going to cover this whole panel. Of course I'm going to be cutting this down into hearts, but just for ease, I'm just doing the whole thing. And I get a good, nice coverage there with that oxide ink. That stuff is amazing. So I'm a huge fan. Can't wait for the other colors to come out. I know Tim Holtz was talking about it potentially not doing other colors when it first released, but I think the blow up of the All Things Oxide probably made them change their mind. So here I've taken both in Smoky Slate re-inker from Stampin' Up! And a black re-inker from Stampin' Up! And I've just put that on my acrylic block and given myself an opportunity to do some splatters. My color scheme for these cards are going to be, because I'm making 2, are going to be pink, gray, black, and white. So I've cut now out some hearts. So I've got these pretty, I want to say they're Spellbinders hearts I got at a craft store one time. And I've just cut down these 2 hearts and I'm covering with Versamark ink now. I'm going to put glitter embossing powder over these hearts. Now this card is like all things glitter and sparkle, which I don't think I'm going to hear any complaints about that. I love me some sparkle. So I am covering up with that glitter embossing powder. I'm going to attach this to a scrap piece of paper so that I don't get my tweezers or my fingers in the way of that embossing. And so I just use a little bit of tape runner to do that. So I'm going to do both of those cards or both of those hearts there. And now here we have it. Very shimmery, very shiny, nice little coating there for that. Now I'm making some black glitter embossing powder with the black black embossing powder I used on my last series quite a bit. So now I'm just doing the same technique here, just covering some paper. I used Bristol for this because it was thick, but in hindsight, I wouldn't have used that. I think the coating makes it burn. It doesn't burn physically, but it smells as you're heating it. I don't know if anyone else has that problem. So this die is from that Wish app. It cost me $1, and I took a couple weeks to come in, but I got it on the Wish app. I think they're from China. I don't know where they're from, but that's the die I used, and I cut out with the black embossing, the glitter paper. So now I am laying down my card together. So the pattern paper came from the card kit, that beautiful script and font, and I'm laying that flat on the black mat, and then I'm laying my heart flat with some really strong score tape. I'm popping up my man and woman here. So one card is going to be for anniversary, could be for an anniversary, one's going to be for a wedding, because I do not have any of these. So this card kit is actually quite beneficial to me right now because I'm lacking in a few genres of cards. So I'm just placing that down, and I'm finishing off this card with popping it up on some fun foam. I bought this humongous mama roll of 1-inch score tape. I had no idea it was that thick. I mean, I know what an inch is, so I should have known. But I got it, and if you notice that first bout I put on the side, I used 3 huge pieces. Then I got smart and was like, I don't need all that. So I'm cutting it up to save some because I don't think I'm going to run through that very quickly though. Do you see that roll? So okay, so I'm attaching now to my card base. I used the pink cardstock that came with the kit for both of my cards here for the bases. And then I'm going to finish off by embellishing these cards with some black enamel dots from Ranger. To get a nice round dot, you want to swirl it up on the end. If you've ever watched Tim Holtz demo that's how you get that perfect round. And then some Pretty Pink Posh sparkling sequins on the other card, the ones without the holes. and that will finish up both of those cards. So I hope you like this card. It's a little bit different. I didn't use the big flower stamp in it, but there's so many things you can do with this card kit, and I hope you liked it. Please follow me on Instagram if you don't, just because I put a lot of pictures there and also some reminders, and I'm also on Facebook, so I'll link all those things below if you want to find me elsewhere besides just YouTube. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.